Now here's the dream job you've all been wishing for. Following a wild Bronto around to see if she poops. Bringing gaming to new levels of reality. Hello everyone, I'm CrypticFox. Welcome back to another video of Ark Survival Evolved on the Xbox One. We're going to be playing a little bit of Farmville today, actually, in the Ark world. There's a few things that I want to be able to make, like kibble and what have you, and they require things like vegetables that you ultimately have to grow. And it would be very handy to have some sort of a garden going on for that sort of thing. Now, we did have this tiny little platform here that had some crop plots on it and what have you before. However, it got destroyed in a dinosaur attack, unfortunately. So we don't have much left here anymore aside from this one little plot. But I have been doing some more gathering and building. We've expanded significantly on the base and also created a new area that we can kind of start to do a little bit of farm work. So I'm going to, over in this area here, I'm going to lay down some crop plots and we'll set up some irrigation so we can get some plants going. And then if there's enough time in this video today, I'm also going to start to capture some dodos so we can start a little bit of a dodo egg farm. Oh, someone closed the door on me. So I built this little hen house here, Fox's hen house, to do our dodo collection. And I do want to see, actually, if I can keep them behind a fence. If I put a railing in here, if they'll stay behind it. I don't know if they will or not. Might be worth testing, though. But ultimately, this will give us some crop plots that we can grow some crops in. And then down the road, I may actually end up putting a greenhouse sort of a setup around the outside of it, which I think actually boosts your crop production and whatnot as well. Let me show you what else we've been working on here. I've done a lot of gathering over the last little while. Certainly this game is a bit of a grind in gathering all the different resources that you're going to need to do all the different building you might want to make. So as you can see, I've converted the whole lower level of the building over to stone, where it was largely wood before. This upper level I've expanded, made a lot taller, and I put a dino gate on the end of it. And this gets me to the point of why I want to grow some vegetables and get some dodo eggs, because I really want to tame a pterodactyl or Pteranadon, I think they're called in this, so that we can have something that can get us around the island a little bit more quickly. We can fly around. Ideally, I want to tame one that's on the lower side so that I can kind of boost up its weight capacity and stamina as it levels up, rather than just dealing with whatever it has. I don't know that with the Pteranadon that it's ever really powerful enough to, say, like fly off and get a whole load of metal or anything up from the mountain, which would kind of be ideal, because I'm at the point now where I'm using metal tools, but gathering metal resources is really tricky. You don't get very much out of the stone. So I would like to be able to fly up there and get some metal from the mountain where it's a lot more consistently available, but that's just not going to be an option. I did actually build a trap door onto the top there, so you can see I have some railings at either end. So when you go up top, in that second level there, you can actually climb up to the rooftop and get up there too. There's not really anything up there, so I'm not going to bother heading up there now. But at some point, maybe there's something else will happen up there. I don't know. So let's get down to business. So we're going to build irrigation first, and that'll supply us with the water that we need for the crop plots. And that will also give me an idea of where I need to place them. So I'm just going to get rid of this sign since we're building here now. We're not going to need this anymore. And I do have a total of 6 crop plots that we want to put down. So where are the different pieces here? I also have a couple of compost bin that we're going to need to make some compost that we can use for the farm plots as well. So to do this, we're going to need the stone irrigation pipe. So we need the intake pipes. We'll set that down here. We're going to... Oops, that didn't work. There we go. We're going to need some straight pipe. And we may actually need some angled pipes as well. I'm going to have to check and see what kind of a height level we're seeing here. But then we're also going to need something that will let the water out so it can go out onto the crop. And that'll give us sort of an outward spout. So usually the best way to start this is to start with the intake pipe first. The intake pipe, if you haven't done any irrigation before, even though you can lay it out here, and it looks like you can put it down perfectly fine, it won't work unless you actually have the intake pipe in the water. And we are definitely going to need some kind of an angled pipe here, I think, to get this up to the level that I want it. I think what I might do is run the pipe down this side of the building if I can, or this side of the farm if I can, and then have it go into the building. Well, there's no building there yet, but when I make a building, I'll have it cut into the building in order to water the crops. So the hard part is, I find, with doing any kind of pipe laying is getting the angles laid out right. So I want this to follow the same line as the base of the building here. I think that'll work. And make sure I walk in a straight line out here. So this will be our intake pipe. Again, it has to be in the water in order for it to draw in the water that you need. And you can know that you have it laid in the right place when the pipe turns blue. We're going to need an angled pipe, which I don't have any in my inventory right now, so we'll just make one of those quickly. Where's the incline pipe? There we go. Just make one of these for now. I think it'll only take one to get it up to a height that'll be sufficient. Yeah, that'll work. It's actually going to be a little bit on the high side, but that's okay. So this will snap into place on the end of that pipe. And again, it turns blue. This should work good. And we'll get a straight pipe in here. Irrigation's actually really, really easy once you've done it. I mean, when I started trying to figure out how to play the game initially, irrigation was one of those things that didn't seem super intuitive. I couldn't figure out exactly how to lay it down, but once you use it, it's ultimately really easy. The hardest part is getting the straight lines. All right, so I have a pipe that's coming out this way. Now I know that I can do an intersection here and an intersection here. I don't think I have any of those pieces made, so again, we're going to need that. So I'm going to make 2 of these. And that'll let us run the pipes in over the crop that I want to put down. Let's see. Where are they? All right, so we have first one. Actually, these are a lot bigger than I planned. I think I'm going to demolish this pipe. See how far back that knocks it. Okay, I think that'll work now in terms of distance-wise. I'm probably not going to be able to set this exactly squarely the way I want it to be anyway. I don't like the fact that it has that extra pipe that's sticking out on that side, but, you know, there are certainly worse things it could do. We'll put a second one here. And that should give me enough that I can lay my crop plots down this one side, I think, for the most part. I kind of wish there was another length of pipe that you could have that was a little bit shorter. Because this is maybe sticking a little bit farther than I want it to. A little bit too far on one side. Let's get the crop plots down, and then I can figure out the irrigation pipes. I may have to do some adjustments later, but those are ultimately set in place pretty much as much as I need them to be now. Where did I put the crop plots? Here we go. So I'm going to use medium crop plots. You can't use large ones, but from what I understand, they don't really have any greater capacity for growing things, although you do need a large crop plot in order to grow plant species X if you happen to have any of those. I don't happen to have them, so I'm just going to focus on the normal crops right now. So we'll put one there. This is going to be too close. So I'm going to get rid of this one. We'll put another straight pipe in here, and then I'm going to need another one of those intersecting pipes. And I'll put that one there. I think that works. Okay. Spacing's a little bit funny. Basically, what I want is when the water's running out of the spout, I want it to water at least two crop plots at a time. It'd be nice if I could get it to do 3, but I don't know if that's I don't think that's possible. So again, this one I'm going to leave a little gap in between. And I'll put another one here. I've got a total of 6 crop plots here that I can lay down, so I'm going to use 2 in this direction also, and then I can run another pipe out and water the last 2. I think I'm going to place them... you know what? I'm going to leave the last 2. I'm going to figure out the placement for those afterwards, mostly because I want to be able to get the piping laid out in a way that I'm going to be able to water them effectively. The plots are a little bit smaller than I planned for with the size of the space that I left here, but I do have significant room to expand if I want to add more at least. So now we need to have something on the end of the spout that will let the water out. As soon as we attach this on the end, you'll see it has water that goes out both sides, and you can see that this one here is busy getting irrigated. So is that one. This one is not because it doesn't have... Although it is showing that it has some water in it because it's raining, and it's not actually irrigated now. So we'll add one of these on this spout as well. And just like that, we've got irrigation on all 4 of our crop plots, which is a must-have for doing any kind of growing. The only one that really doesn't need irrigation is plant species X. It gets enough just from the rain as long as you have it exposed so that it can get some rain on it. All right, so we have our 4 crop plots. We are going to need some compost bins, and I do have those in my inventory already. So I'm going to put those against the chicken house over here. And I think I might leave a little bit of a gap. I have a feeling I'm going to have to move these at another time. That's, again, okay. Okay, so you can just use normal animal feces in the crop plot, and it'll get fertilizer that way. However, the fertilizer that you can make in the compost bins is significantly more powerful. So I've already done a little bit of poop gathering, as you might have saw in the little intro there. I followed a Bronto around for a little bit and got a couple of their poop. I've gotten a couple from the trike. They're just whoops, I thought that was closing. They're only medium size, so it's not going to make a ton. The Bronto one is large, as you would imagine. So we have a bunch of that. So this is the only game I know of where you have to run around collecting poop. As I might have said in an earlier video, it's also the only game I know of that poop actually serves a purpose. We also need thatch. And I actually don't think I got enough thatch, but I can add more to it later. It's easy enough to grab. So basically, you just put the feces and the thatch in the compost bin. It takes a really long time, but it ultimately converts it to compost, which is good and powerful in your little crop plot. That'll give you a chance to plant some seeds. Let me see. So put some mediums on it. Medium poop in here. Put a large poop in here. Why not? I think I got 2 large feces. Which, again, I'm super excited to say I got to follow a wild dinosaur around and collect some. Ultimately, if you can get to the point where you've got a dung beetle tamed, that's the best way to get fertilizer. But for now, I'll make do with the compost bin, because I really don't have anything tamed other than the trike. And I want my next tame, other than the dodos, to be a Pteranadon, so we have the ability to fly around. So this is pretty much ready to go now. I have a good stock of seeds. I'm going to plant some of these later, but basically all you do is you access the crop plot, place your fertilizer inside, place your seed inside, and then just let it grow. And you come back and make sure it stays irrigated. In this case, it will, as long as a dinosaur doesn't come along and smash the piping. And then you also have to make sure you keep the fertilizer topped up as well, because if that runs out, then your plant dies, and then you've got to start all over again at square one. So I'm going to make this a larger farm, since I do have the room for it. I might actually go as far as adding a couple rows of plots in here. I don't know that we're going to have enough feces to keep that all going, but at least I can get some of it going. And as we tame more dinosaurs, then we can certainly make more compost as well. All right, so that's really simple irrigation and farm plot, and then I'll expand on this later. But let's now focus on getting some dodos that we can put in my little dodo chicken coop thing here. I do have trank arrows that I could be using to try to trank a dodo, but they have such low life total that unfortunately they die really easily. And I'm using a crossbow now, and that does even more damage. Crossbow is pretty cool. Oh yeah, feces. First time I've ever been excited for poop. I have kids. I know what it's like. I'll stick this one in here. I think I only put 2 in this one. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of poop collecting in the next little while. Anyway, so I'm not going to use trank arrows just because I'm pretty sure that a trank arrow out of the crossbow will actually kill the dodo. So instead, we're going to go with something else. We're going to go with the ever-trusty club. A little bit of Flintstones time. So basically, we're just going to knock it out with the club, since it's really hard to hit it with an arrow and not kill it ultimately. So now we've got to find a dodo we can club, and then I have narco berries, and I'm going to grab some mayo berries. They actually do better, I think, with vegetables when you want to tame, but since we don't have those grown yet, I'm not going to worry about those. But I do keep a fair number of berries in the trike, simply because they harvest a crazy... Oops. Didn't quite want to mount up on him there. They do carry a crazy number of them, and when you're out harvesting, they just gather them in just ridiculous quantities. So I'm going to grab a bunch of mayo berries so that we can feed and tame some dodos, and then I could be using narcotic, but again, dodos are so small and weak that I don't want to waste it on them. I'm just going to use some unrefined narco berries that will do the job just fine. But first things first, we got to find some dodos, and I would prefer to capture female ones. And then, of course, we'll need one male one, because my whole plan with them is to have them there for egg laying. All right, we found our first wild dodo, and this one is luckily a female, level 45. So we'll just give her just a little love tap. Oh, sorry. Oh, needing no more. Oh, another one. Come on. Oh, don't die on me. This feels like animal brutality. All right, we knocked her out. Perfect. All right, so this is now just a really simple job. We'll put some narcoberries in her. I may not even need to use them. Depending on how fast she consumes the mayo berries and how quickly she tames, the torpor is going down relatively quickly, and they don't have a large capacity for torpor. So they do wake up relatively quickly, but we'll get quickly through the taming process here, and then we'll have our very first dodo for the pen. All right, just like that, we've got our first dodo tame. Nice. Whoops, I want to rename him. Oh, you can pick him up too, which is really handy. Ah, that looks just a little bit crazy. How do I put him down? Put him down. How do I drop you? There we go. Oh, there we go. I can throw you, apparently. Let's make sure we get a name on this guy, because I just accidentally skipped right over the naming. Change name. All right. In honor of the way that that we subdued this ferocious dodo, I'm going to name this dodo Clubber Lang. There we go. We got our first dodo, Clubber Lang, level 59. Not so bad. The nice thing is you can pick them up, so you don't have to get them to try to follow you around either. So we can actually just run this one right back to the pen, and then go out in search of some more dodos that we can put in there. I'd like to get, I don't know, maybe half a dozen or so. I'll probably need to put a feed bin in there too, just so they don't have to constantly go in and keep plugging berries into them, so that they don't die of starvation on me. All right, that poor male one just took a lot more to subdue. I think I had him like 6 or 8 times. Nevertheless, we got another one that's ready to tame. I'm going to get about, like I said, I'm going to have probably 5 or 6 of these. And that'll give us a chance to get a pretty good egg production going, I think. This one's a male now, too. So now that I have a male, the rest of the ones I'm going to want to gather will be females, so that we have all egg laying. And the male will help produce the eggs. And ideally, I'd like to be able to use the eggs to capture an oviraptor as well, because they help increase egg production. The only trouble is that when you're using dodo eggs, it takes a ton of them to tame the oviraptor. A little bit better with some other egg types, but getting to that point can be a little bit more tricky. So, oh, look at that cool job, the spray paint on this guy's head. I kind of want him. He's got a... Is it a male or female? Male. Yeah, he's got like a different pattern on his crest. That's really cool. So it doesn't take long to tame the dodo, only maybe like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, depending on the level. And I've lost sight of him, though I can hear him chewing. He's here somewhere. Well, unfortunately, my search for dodos was somewhat fruitless. I only managed to find 2 more dodos while I was searching through the night, and both of them were males. But as I already have 1 male and 1 female now, I have a matched pair, and you can see they're already coupled up, and they're making like lovebirds. One male dodo can satisfy multiple female dodos. Lucky guy. So I don't really want to have to feed more male ones because they don't lay any eggs. I really only want the female ones. So I'm going to keep hunting around another time. I'll try and find some more dodos. I've pretty much checked this whole area. I just cannot quench my thirst today. I've checked this whole area looking for some dodos that we can capture to kind of build out our little farm with, but not getting any luck right now. The one time I'm trying to look for dodos, the only time there aren't like 20 of them wandering around my camp. Nevertheless, we'll get them. They'll come back. Looks like we've got a lot of trikes running around here right now. Maybe that's why they've taken up all the spawn points. But I'm going to call it a wrap for the video today. And when we come back next time, I'll have some compost made. We'll have some things growing in our farm plots. Hopefully, I'll have some more dodos that we've been able to round up. I should have a few more farm plots out here also by then. And then maybe it'll be time to finally tame ourselves something that can fly so we can get around to the island just a little bit better than we do right now. But thanks, everyone, for watching the video. I do hope you enjoy these and you'll come back and check out some more. I'm, as always, CrypticFox. I'll see all of you next time.